what's up, everybody? The 20th edition, a long time, first time movie watches. It's me, JPO. It's Brandon, B something C, and Tato's here because Tato has the link somehow every time.
He's
Brandon,
in the
how you
back
doing?
anyways, so might as well put him in the front.
Goes where it goes.
Tato, take it away.
Brandon, how are you? Or
I'm
Tato, take it
doing
away. Someone take it away.
fantastic. Thank you.
No, Tato's the host now.
I love you both.
How about you, Brandon?
I'm good. I am glad to be here. Always glad to be here for episode. Holy crap, 20. That number keeps going up. I feel like you're just messing it up.
I hope not.
I don't know who.
Possible.
There's 3 handsome people, so you have to be more specific than that. But yeah, 2.5. Guess who? Whatever. No, I'm happy to be here. Didn't get to watch that much this week. Still got 3 to talk about though, so that's a good time. So yeah, excited.
That's all, folks.
To always be here. And if you are excited to be here as well, please pop in. Come talk movies with us. Link at the bottom. Link in the chat. Link in your mama. I don't know. I'm out of stuff. I'm tired.
Well, let's just start with your first movie, Brandon. We already have somebody in the back, so we got some people waiting already. So what you got, Brandon?
My first movie is... I got to get the whole name correct because...
Oh, God.
There's a subtitle. I typed in Puss in Butt. That's not... that's something else. I watched Puss in Boots, but specifically the second one that I forgot the name of it.
Last Wish.
The Last Wish. Yes, I watched Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, not Puss in Butt. That is something very, very differently. I am a Shrek guy. If you know me, I'm a Shrek guy. If you're Will Cohen and you face me in Full Metal, you know Shrek is my strength. That match never came out. I didn't get it, though, unfortunately. But Shrek is life. Shrek is everything to me. And I never got to any of the Puss in Boots movies. So I finally checked these both out, actually. I watched both of them. First one thought was decent, fun. But then I watched this one, and this movie is, like, completely different. Like, you almost don't need to watch. Like, you can watch the first one just to get introduction to the characters, but this is like a completely different movie. They completely scrapped the art style and just did their own thing. And it's basically like as beautiful as the Spider-Verse. It's so good. The animation is awesome, especially the action looks so cool because the way they did it. The final battle is just gorgeous and beautiful to look at. It's funny. It's thrilling. Like I said, great action, great performances. This movie's just awesome. This movie slaps. For a movie about a talking cat, it sure is. It's just like amazing. And especially after I watched the first one, I was like, people were loving the second one. I watched the first one knowing that people love the second one. So I was like, how is this going to be? Like, this is fine. It's no Shrek. But this is something completely different than Shrek. They did a great job here. This is how you do a spin-off. Like, you have something to say and you do it. And it's just, this is a masterpiece of a movie. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really liked this movie. I thought it was really, really good. And watching this trailer makes me want to watch it again because it's just hype.
Yeah, this was a big surprise of the year for me. I like the first one. Like you said, I think it's pretty good, but like nothing like, so super great. And
yeah,
they didn't really strike while the iron was hot too. Like this came out way after the first one too. So I was like, might have been a little late, guys. But no, I mean, they found the right story, the right animation. It's funny. It's thrilling, even weirdly at times. Like, look, as far as like the Shrek series goes, the best action is here you've ever seen. And also, I'm a pussy guy, a cat guy, and gotta love it for that. Tato, did you ever see Puss in Boots 2: The Last Wish?
I have not. It's one of those ones that I will be catching up on soon. But even this guy likes it, and this guy doesn't love fun.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the animation's too fast. You liked it?
No, it has a little bit of that Spider-Verse stuff like sprinkled in here and there, mostly when the wolf guy shows up. But he's a great villain. Yeah, this movie rocks. I saw it like the last week it was in theaters, and like right before it left theaters. And yeah, that movie like knocked my Puss in Boots socks off. So no, that movie rocks.
Because you can take your boots off.
Mm-hmm.
Very good reviews for Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now go to a little old school Richard Linklater, which I didn't even realize until after I finished it. Suburbia, my weekly. What is this movie? So yeah, this is. I think I just looked at Letterboxd too, and the tagline is like. Hold on, I got to look at the tagline again. six-pack, sex and supermarket. So it's really just kind of a really win-long. Just we're all teens trying to figure it out. It's very 90s. It's very angsty. Everyone's got problems. Why? Because that's why we're 90s teens, man. I know I put him up before, but Pez, you would love this movie because you see Giovanni Ribisi's penis.
Oh no! Get me out of here! Bye. No thank you.
Giovanni Ribisi.
What a surprise! Yeah, about an hour into the movie, I just went because he takes off his pants. I'm like, they're not gonna. Oh, never mind. Giovanni Ribisi. Too much of you. Steve Zahn's very Steve Zahn-y, so he brings a little bit of life into this here. And some stuff did work, but too much of it, I just thought it also dragged too. I remember pausing it to go to the bathroom at one point, and then seeing I have over an hour left of this thing. I also don't know if the ending totally worked for me either here, so kind of right smack dab in the middle. 2.5. I enjoyed all the performances to a degree. You know, some of them kind of blended in to each other here, which is sad because Richard Linklater, as you see before Sunrise, that whole trilogy, you know, he can write a good script. I don't know if he wrote this or not, but it didn't work totally for me. 1996's Suburbia. I want to see if he did write it. No, Eric Bogosian wrote it, so yeah, he didn't write it. Tato, ever seen Suburbia?
Sorry, pushing the wrong buttons. I have not.
Pez, I'm guessing you didn't see Suburbia yet. Tato, what did you see?
I've not seen it
You
either.
see anything this week?
Co-host.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Brandon.
yeah.
Hey, you ever seen Suburbia?
No. But Richard Linklater's filmography is he does like the weirdest fucking movies, all over the place. But so I was gonna check this out because it looked good, but then your review said 2.5, and now I'm not checking it out.
Yeah, I even saw one of our friends. I think Melissa gave it a 1. Like, I feel like this movie. I feel like someone could really like it. I could also see why some people might hate it too. Like, it's one of those movies. Tato, did you see something this week?
Yeah, and I'm actually going to play a little catch up, even though I've seen a bunch this week. A lot of 2024 in there, but I did go back, and I'll just throw out that I won't talk about this one too much, but I completed the full Barbershop Quartet. That was fun. But what I will talk about, I want to actually talk about like the important movies that I haven't seen till now that I got to. I will start off with Boys in the Hood. That has been a huge blank spot for me, and I am going back a little bit. I watched both these movies on Martin Luther King Day, the 21st, so yeah, obviously a classic for a reason. Everyone, like, it is definitely worth the praise it has gotten forever. As I mentioned, it's a big, huge blank spot for me. The performances are all fantastic. I'm fucking Ice Cube. Cuba Gooding Jr. That was the name I was blanking on. I could not think of Cuba Gooding Jr. for some reason.
It's radio, man.
Score or we get to it? What's going on?
I'm sorry. I was just like, I was going back on it and just fucking kind of much like Brandon said, watching this makes me want to go back on it. It was so fucking fantastic. 4.5 though. Like one of those damn near perfect movies. Lawrence Fishburne, amazing.
Okay. Yeah, this is actually one I probably saw in the last year or two myself here. So yeah, not too far along myself. Yeah, it's good stuff, Brandon.
Yeah, I talked about this last year. This was, I believe, number 4 on my list that we did at the end of the year of watches for this show. So yeah, this is, like you said, damn near perfect movie. My only complaint is the way it's treated, the way it's been treated in the time since it's been out. Like I said, like
message,
seeing kids wearing, Boys in the Hood hoodies and Ice Cube's face on it and things like that. And like, this is like not a movie to idolize. This is a horror movie, basically. And so like, that's my only complaint, is not having to do with the movie, but the way that people kind of view this movie is, it's like, you shouldn't look up to this movie. This is like it's a harrowing tale.
I think we're seeing Brandon's teacher come out right now. Listen, kids.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah.
How do I reach these kids?
That's a good scene between him and the dad. I love that scene.
Yeah.
Pez, you've seen lots of movies. You probably have seen this.
Yeah, I prefer the other one it gets compared to a lot. Menace to Society is kind of more my jam than Boys in the Hood, but it is very good. And oddly enough, Tato, I will also be talking about an Ice Cube movie in a few minutes.
Right
Sweet.
along,
Is that what you
too.
want to talk about right
Oh.
now, or what you got? It's your
Well,
floor
it's
now.
kind of the best of the three I was going to talk about, so I don't know if I want to work my way. Start at the top, and work down, or start at the bottom, and work
Your
up.
call.
So
Whatever you think floats.
that's up to you. If you want to build up to the garbage, I can do that. So why not? It's a good transition, right? So let's start with Ice Cube. It's one of two that I'll start with. JPO, I have a 1992 Bill Paxton double feature for you. So I know it's a weird rabbit hole I'm going down. I'm going to watch a third one this week from 1992. He made three in 92. So I'm going to start with Trespass from 1992, which I just watched this week, starring Bill Paxton, William Sadler, and both the Ices, the important ones, Ice-T and Ice Cube, are both in this movie. So you get a double dose of the ice in this one. And it's got, the thing that I love, JPO, lots of character actors in this movie. I love my character actors, and this movie is literally even top billed at the time. Bill Paxton, William Sadler, character actors. It's also got Deborah White, who was Argyle in Die Hard, the limo driver. You got Glenn Plummer, who was in Speed. The guy who gets his car door ripped off. You got Tiny Lister, our boy from Friday. As kind of the muscle of the gang. It's a weird premise if you can get past that. It's like these guys, they're firefighters, and they discover sort of a treasure map of sorts to this old factory warehouse that might have some old religious gold artifacts in it. So they go hunting around, but they accidentally witness a gangland kind of execution, and it becomes a real situation of survival. How do we get out of this? Do we bust our way out? Do we escape? They pull a hostage. It's all kinds of stuff like that. So it's kind of a back and forth. Ice-T and Ice Cube are kind of the two sort of gang leaders. Ice-T's really the leader, and Ice Cube wants to kind of take over for him, and they're constantly bickering about how to handle the situation. But it's a really tense, good, one location, kind of limited scope thriller, action movie. It's directed by Walter Hill, who did The Warriors and 48 Hours. So it's really competently directed. It's written by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. They wrote it in the 70s and just kind of sat around and dusted it off in 92 and made this movie. Just really tense stuff. This is one of those movies, JPO, in 92 it was probably a 3-star movie, and now it's a 4-star movie because they don't make movies like this anymore. It's really entertaining and really just fun, and a mid-budget, just everybody that shows up is somebody you're happy to see, and it's tense all the way through. It doesn't take long to get going. I mean, within 15 minutes, the situation is heating up and getting crazy, and cops are introduced and kind of introduced, and there's a homeless guy in there that gets mixed up. Who's going to end up with the gold? Who's going to survive? See the movie for yourself. It's really good. So
What did you mind on 3 or 4?
I think it's a 4. Like I said, nowadays it's a 4 out of 5, man. It's fun. It's really, really entertaining, really fun.
Yeah, I don't know if I've even heard of this one here, but I have wondered before if Cube and T ever did something together. Well, there you go. So
I blind bought it
both
because I'm a Paxton guy, so I blind bought it a while back. It's one of the ones I've been trying to bust open, those Blu-rays I got sitting over here. This is one of the ones I finally popped in, and I'm glad I did. Really good stuff.
Let's see if Tater and Brennan can surprise. Anyone Trespass?
I've not seen it, but I've been wondering what to do with his hair, and watching that trailer, I'm going for the Ice-T and Trespass now. So a little bit to go, get it down there a little bit more, tighten it up on the sides, but that's what I'm going
I can listen to those two guys just yell back and forth at each other all day, and that's what they do for a lot of the movies. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like when someone plays too many scratchy lotteries.
Yeah, and they both collaborated on the main theme song. There's a Trespass song that plays over a good chunk of the movie, and it's a banger.
Hell yeah.
I've been saying for years we need to bring back the rap song at the end of the movie.
The rap song that's about the movie, and it has it Tato, and it has Ice Cube and Ice-T all over it, and it's great.
Yes.
So yeah,
sounds like a banger. Brandon, what else you get to this week?
Jordan, am I going to ask this question now? Finally, Jordan, have you heard of The Salvation?
No.
I watched a movie that, again, looking for movies that Jordan hasn't seen that are on my list. This is a 2014 Western starring Mads Mikkelsen, Eva Green, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which sounds awesome, and it's not really. It's a classic revenge tale Western. Mads Mikkelsen going on the revenge with a gang leader, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who is always great. Mads Mikkelsen is great as the the stoic hero here. So that's fun, but it just was lacking a little bit of the end was kind of interesting, but it was lacking a little bit of just that Western flair that I love from Westerns, because I really do. Like, it is one of my favorite genres, and they don't really make them anymore. So it's nice to see that they made one, but it just didn't have, like, I love a good Western music, you know, the Western score, and it didn't really have that. So everything kind of just fell flat because it went more for like the silent route. So it was kind of like boring in certain points of it. It's only 92 minutes, and it didn't feel like that much because, you know, again, it wasn't really thrilling in times. Eva Green doesn't say anything, which is fine, but that's kind of weird. It just has a bunch of weird stuff that just couldn't quite be exactly everything I wanted to. Still like a decent watch if you're looking for like a modern Western, but there's definitely better ones out there. So yeah, a little disappointing. I knew nothing about this movie. No one had watched it before. But just seeing Mads Mikkelsen, seeing Jeffrey Dean Morgan, seeing Western, I kind of wanted a little bit more and wasn't quite able to get there. So I think it's kind of a 3-star movie, but you know, me being disappointed in it kind of leaves it to like a 2.5 stars. So yeah, 2.5-star movie. Just didn't give me what I wanted out of a Western, unfortunately. Maybe I've just watched too many of the good ones that some of the mid ones are just kind of not for me anymore. But yeah, Salvation 2014.
You're muted, buddy.
I'm trying to cough earlier. Yeah, I haven't seen this one here, and yeah, I'm iffy on Westerns. I'd love some, but you know, this is one that you know recommend. I don't probably won't get to it. Pez, Tato,
heard of it?
Love
heard of it? Never seen it. I might check it out though. I am a Western guy, so I might check it out.
Nope.
Some people love it. It's all over. Like, the rating is like 3.2, so not great. So that's right around where I'm at, 2.5, 3, something like that. But yeah, should have been better. Just needs like good big music during like the grand finale, like when the Jeffrey Dean Morgan walks up at the very end of the movie and there's no music. Like, it has like a boots up shot of him and there's no like harrowing score that like they do in every Western. It's just like, what am I supposed to care about this?
No, you're good. Went into the prequel territory for me for Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah, sometimes I've kind of said before, prequels sometimes don't necessarily intrigue me the most, but I think between this and Furiosa, I'm going to start to change my mind because this is my favorite movie of the week for me personally. Actually, I was actually very invested in this. I thought it actually kind of filled in some holes and some gaps from the other previous movies, directed by Francis Lawrence, who did I Am Legend, 3 other Hunger Games, and I forgot what else he did.
Constantine.
Constantine, there you go. I was gonna say, I know there's something else that we all like. Constantine too. So like, I think he does a really good job here. It's very intriguing. The character development I thought worked out very well. Again, you got to side. You know, they're always really good with side characters too. And this time you have Viola Davis putting a really good performance there. Peter Dinklage in this. So yeah, this actually worked for me a lot more than I thought it would here. I was relatively invested. It's maybe a bit-ish long, but at the same time, like, I don't necessarily know what I would necessarily cut out or anything. So I actually really like this one. I'm gonna give this one 4 stars. I think this is if the previous franchise intrigues you, this will fit in right in. If not, is up there. I think it's one of the better ones of the entire franchise actually here, oddly enough. So Tato, what else? I'm sorry, Brent, ever seen this prequel?
No, I've only seen the first movie. I really like the first 2 books. The third book is a piece of poop.
Nerd.
But maybe I'll get to this. Maybe I'll get to the rest of the franchise eventually. But I've heard good things about this.
Start with this one.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Pez, ever seen Songbirds and Snakes?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I remember it being better than I thought it would be going into it. But I remember it gets to a point near the end where you think it's going to end, and then it goes on for another 30 minutes. There's a very distinct point, and you're just like, okay, I've got everything I need to get out of this movie. Can we like wrap it up now? And
I didn't mind the extra stuff, but you do feel it.
Yeah, you do feel. And then I feel like it kind of shoehorns and speeds to a few things with Snow, like right near the end. But other than that, it's not bad. Pretty good.
Tate, ever seen the whatever this is, 5th one? I don't even know what this is, 5th one.
I have. I've seen 0 of these. YA is kind of a weakness of mine in geek.
Oh no, Joe Fairley.
Spoiler alert.
Why is it this?
They
just,
part
just
two the
because
original
it's
trilogy?
okay to not take trivia seriously sometimes.
What do you say, Brandon?
Did they part two the last one of the original trilogy?
I don't understand the question.
Did they Mockingjay part two it?
Yes.
Like, did
Yes.
they did all that?
Yeah, it's just like Deathly Hallows, yeah, and whatever the Twilight
That
shit
book's
was.
already boring. Sorry.
Nerd. Tato, what'd you see this week?
I will go back to the other flip side. Do the right thing, and I had a couple of thoughts. Like, Boys in the Hood totally could have been called Do the Right Thing. I think these movies could have flipped titles.
Yeah.
And it would have worked slightly better in either case because so much of Boys in the Hood is Lawrence Fishburne instilling Do the Right Thing in his kid, and like, I just thought that was kind of funny that both the movies had that. Another thought I had on this one, which not really pertaining to the movie, but as movie debaters, we've all had that jerk store moment. Like, oh, I wish I would have fucking said that. I wish I had seen this before debating Will on Best Musical, because he took In the Heights, and In the Heights is just Do the Right Thing as a musical, as it turns out. And I wish I'd have fucking known that, because fuck, I would have loved to use that in my debate. With that said, obviously this is going to be another 4.5 for me. I don't know how Andrew Schultz got in this movie, de-aged. You catch him right there. It was weird. I was like, man, I didn't think he was around at this point. Young Johnny Turturro, obviously a delight. Spike himself is fantastic in the film. Sam Jackson is always fucking good whenever he shows up in a tertiary role. Yeah, fucking a pair of fantastic movies. Glad I finally got to them and shit like that. Yep.
Brendan, any thoughts on Do the Right Thing?
Yeah, I love this movie. I like this movie. I watched it not too long ago, but not for this show, before pre-show. And yeah, I love this movie. I like this movie more than Boys in the Hood. Still kind of like a horror movie, obviously, but a little more enjoyable, a little more fun. If I want to say fun, maybe might not be the right word.
Sorry.
Yeah, definitely not the right word. But yeah, anytime someone's wearing a Jackie Robinson jersey the entire movie, that makes me like it a lot too. So yeah, this is amazing. I really, really, really like this one a lot. This is kind of what kickstarted me, because, you know, we all know my demographic and it's not that demographic. So I need to get more into, you know, those types of movies, because there's a lot, you know, of amazing films out there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be Tato Lord for the rest of my life. So
Big fan.
You know?
Pez, Do the Right Thing?
5 stars.
Just saw it for the first time, like literally last year. I was late to this one too. I had blind bought the Criterion way back when as well, so that was another one that sat on my shelf, and I finally busted out. Yeah, it's incredible. It actually starts out way funnier than you think it's going to be for like the first hour. A lot more like a Friday type of movie, you know,
I mean by like
kooky characters like running around the neighborhood and meeting all these wacky people, you know, situations. But yeah, it gets serious very quickly, but very, very good. Yeah, it's one I'll be going back to a bunch more times.
Yeah, nice. I gotta get to it actually myself, so maybe you'll see brought back up on the show pretty soon. Pez, what else you get to this week?
So the other 1992 Bill Paxton will be the lesser one, although I think the best one is yet to come. A movie called One False Move, which I'll probably watch next week. But the one I watched barely came out in theaters, basically straight to video. The Vagrant from 1992 is the one I watched, and boy, is this movie fucking bonkers. This movie is goddamn insane. It is essentially a really long Tales from the Crypt episode. It is also Bill Paxton in the lead, plays this kind of analyst businessman who buys a house, and he's being stalked or something, or harassed by this really crazy looking vagrant bum that keeps somehow getting into his house, messing with him, messing with his mind, and he starts to lose his mind, thinking he's all over the place in front of him all the time, you know, running all over the place, messing up his house, really horrendous looking, like this crazy makeup on his face, and things like this. Directed by Chris Walas, who his only other movie besides this was The Fly 2, You've seen The Fly 2 with Eric Stoltz. He directed that one. More of a
Oh.
special effects kind of guy. But another movie is chock full of character actors. So obviously Bill Paxton in the lead. Michael Ironside plays the main cop kind of throughout the movie. The guy who plays the vagrant under all the makeup is Marshall Bell, who you might know mostly from Total Recall. He's the Quato guy in Total Recall. He's also in Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as the weird BDSM coach in that movie. Don't make me go there. But you got other guys like Mark McClure, who's Dave McFly in like Back to the Future, and he's Jimmy Olsen in the original Superman movie. He's like his best friend in the movie. All kinds of like wacky character actors that show up, and it just escalates and escalates and escalates. And the answer to all the questions: is the bum real? Is it a product of his imagination? Is he really doing stuff? Is Bill Paxton just losing his mind? Yes. This movie's fucking insane, and it goes to crazy places. By the time it gets to the end of the 90-minute runtime, it doesn't even look like where it started from. So is it a good movie? No, it's not a good movie. It's fucking wacky. It's poorly written. It's weird, but goddamn, is it insane? And it is a ride from start to finish. It's not boring. You will just be astonished at how fast it moves and goes from, and how fast it escalates from like one situation or another, and where it actually ends up. It's insane. This movie's nuts. But I could see why they probably didn't know how to market it. It's marketed as a horror movie. It's more of like a comedic, dark, psychological thriller with goofy comedy. Like, it's hard to even explain. It's on good old Tubi is where I watched it. I used to have an out of print DVD.
Okay.
I used to have an out of print DVD of it I bought from a horror convention years ago that never popped in. But then I saw it was in HD on Tubi, so that's where I watched it eventually. So feel free to check it out if you must. But I'll give it a 2.5 just because goddamn, it's not boring and it's insane. it's a wacky 90 minutes if you're in for that sort of thing, if you're in the right mood. So The Vagrant, 92.
I love these suggestions so far from you. More than 92 Paxton. Anybody?
I might have another one for you next week. I was going to try to squeeze it out.
Okay.
I just couldn't. But I'll have another one for you next week. Supposedly it's a really good
You
one.
have to ask.
Looks insane though, and I actually want to watch it. So adding it to the list.
No, I like both of these suggestions this week. Brandon,
Can I
what
just
else you
run?
got this week?
Can I just run my other one real quick? I got to go to Wheel of Movies. So
Oh,
can I just run my other
fine.
one real
We'll
quick?
break
I'm
rules
sorry.
because we like you.
I know. I got to go talk Mulholland Drive. All right. My stinkiest of the recents is one that Wolfman and I did for our recent monthly mistake drinking game. It's one that I hadn't seen up until we actually did it. An American Werewolf in Paris from 1997. Boy, is this movie a big bag of werewolf shit. This movie sucks. This movie stinks, and is a shame that it shares a name with one of the great werewolf movies of all time. 1997. It's directed by a guy who never did anything again, and for good reason. It stars Tom Everett Scott, who all these people in this movie are like coming off of better movies. So it's like Tom Everett Scott a year off of That Thing You Do, where he's like the main drummer guy with the sunglasses, and he's like really good in that movie. Yeah. It's got Julie Delpy like a year or two off of Before Sunrise. So like, she's coming off of like a really good movie. It's got he was away from being like kind of known, but Vince Valouf is like one of his buddies. He's the guy in Rat Race with the tongue piercing is like one of his buddies.
I know that very well.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people don't know the name, but like it's that guy. It's a few years before Rat Race. And then Julie Bowen, your girl from Happy Gilmore, shows up. Virginia Bennett is in this movie for a little bit. The only thing it shares with the original is that same thing happens if one of their people dies. He starts seeing like the corpses of them, like the original movie. That's about the only connection. This movie has horrendous special effects, and 97 was not all bad CGI. I mean, The Lost World, Jurassic Park came out that year, but this one's more like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, that kind of shitty CGI. And it's a shame because the original movie won an inaugural Oscar for makeup and special effects for Rick Baker. So, and it still holds up. It has an incompetent screenplay, really bad editing. There's situations where there's just scenes that don't need to be there. There's a chase scene where a guy starts at one location at this house, has a chase scene with his gang, and ends up right back at the house where the gang knows he is. It's completely pointless 10-minute diversion for literally no reason whatsoever. And a thing where he's just wandering around the police precinct while he's under arrest and somehow escapes, and we never see how. Just really incompetent all around. Bad stuff, and not even in a really fun way. I mean, we did our drinking game and had fun with that, but stay far away from this movie. It is bullshit. It is terrible. So but if you must, it's available on every streaming service on the fucking planet. So it's on Peacock, it's on Crackle, it's on Tubi, it's on Freevee, it's on Prime, it's on Pluto. It's readily available anywhere you want to see it, but probably just to make up any kind of money they lost. So there you go.
What do you give it?
Oh, 1. That's a fucking 1. So it's terrible.
Holy shit!
Probably a half star actually, if I can give it a half star. Yeah, it's bad. Really bad.
Yeah, we do that.
Really shit. Yeah, 0.5.
0.5.
Terrible. Shit.
Yeah, I saw this one first. I remember seeing this one when I was a kid. And that's why it took me a while to get to London.
No, London's way better the whole time.
Any quick plugs or parting words? And also, where's my t-shirt? You got a t-shirt? I want a t-shirt.
My girl made it for me. I didn't even make it. My girl made it for me for Christmas. As you can see on the shirt, Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast on its own channel. Come find us a little later tonight. We'll be talking some Royal Rumble and Movie Hero Network. I'll be going live in a few minutes. Obviously, if you're watching this, catch us on the replay. We'll be talking Mulholland Drive in honor of David Lynch. So go find us over there. Thanks. See you later.
Really cool Naomi Watts.
Thanks for letting me check in, guys. Appreciate you. Always a great show. Thanks as always. Bye.
Peace. Brandon, what you got this week?
Okay. Just kidding.
What?
That was a fun bit. Okay. It is time for
the Weekly Whole
Film. Okay. I love a good mafia movie. I love The Sopranos. I love Goodfellas. I watched A Bronx Tale.
Oh, okay.
Directed by the great Robert De Niro. Been wanting to watch this for a long time. Heard a lot of good things about this movie. I'll say off the bat, I like this movie. Okay. Did I like it as much as I thought I was going to like it? No. I thought I was a little disappointed. I thought I was going to like it more. I still like this movie a lot, but I thought I was going to like it more. Start off with the things I like. It's Diet Scorsese, but it's still awesome. And, it's still... has all the stuff that I love about, Goodfellas and, and The Sopranos and all of that, the good music. It's got all the, Scorsese tropes in this movie because it's De Niro. I thought he does a pretty good job here. Chaz Palminteri is great. Robert De Niro is great in this movie. The kid I thought was pretty good in this movie. Him older, I think also pretty good in this movie. I love the story of, it's a kid he grows up these mafia guys are fucking cool. So, you want to be part of these cool guys, and your dad doesn't want you any part of that. I wish we got a little bit more backstory. Maybe why does he have any personal connection to the mob? Has he been wronged in the past? Maybe something a little bit more to make him go, make you feel like why, instead of just oh, you're my son and I don't want you in this. But that's a pretty good reason. The kid looks exactly like Robert De Niro, which I thought was great. What I didn't like about this movie, I didn't really like I get that there's racism. Racism is a thing in the world. I didn't like that storyline that they went down. I wish they I wish they did something else with the B plot, with the secondary plot in the second half of this movie, instead of he's racist and then falls in love with a black girl. And then Jay had a pretty good point. In his review on Letterboxd, he said he drops the hard R to her brother, and then about 10 minutes later, they're making out. It's like, okay. You hear what he said about your brother? He just said that to your brother, and now you're kissing each other. So didn't like that. I didn't think the actress for the love interest was very good. So I didn't really like that storyline for it. So that kind of the end kind of ruined it a bit for me. Just because I don't know, it just didn't work for me. I wish they went maybe a different route with the ending or how I love watching those dudes blow up. That was cool. But so that kind of knocked it down a bit for me. Still sitting at 4 stars because again, love the idea of you have these two great actors going head to head, but going head to head in a different way instead of fighting each other. They're fighting for both to their sons in a way. So I really like that, but wish it was just a little bit more for me. So it's a little disappointing because I was really hoping for a 5-star, but couldn't quite get there for me.
I'm a little closer to New York, man. I love this movie. It's something I've seen in the last, I'm pretty sure, damn sure I've seen in this room. So in the last year or so, I gave it 4.5. I just looked at. I'm gonna even disagree with you on some things too, actually. Here, want to say it's Scorsese light. I don't agree with that because I just think it is a lighter-ish movie. It's a more kind of like optimistic movie that I think Scorsese does. So I like that fact. I actually don't want Scorsese to direct this movie here. I feel like he would have made it even darker unnecessarily. I'll disagree with the fact of the racism part. That just truly shows of what a person can be put in the middle of. If all your boys and whatnot do that, yeah, you're gonna be fake with your boys sometimes. Unfortunately, is it shitty? Yes, but then it shows you his true feelings when he's with her, and then also too in the end because he doesn't go with them, that ends up saving his freaking life and whatnot. So I disagree with that. I think it's trying to show just and I think that's true with a lot of things. Even American History X, like it shows him kind of breaking down and when he meets the guy in jail and like it spends time with him and like it just shows that like there's just different forces are pulling you, and yeah, you might be one way to another. Then when you actually spend time and realize that we're all the same to a degree and whatnot. So I don't know. I thought it mostly all worked for me. I really liked it. Ever seen A Bronx Tale?
No, I agree with that. I just I didn't like the chemistry between the two. I don't know. The chemistry didn't work.
I mean that's fine. I mean I can buy that.
Yeah.
I will. This is a big old 5-star for me. I love this picture. Chaz Palminteri is fucking perfect. De Niro is great. I will lend Brandon that the chemistry doesn't necessarily pop off the screen with those two actors. So that part is a little bit, but fucking Now You Can't Leave and fucking So like the fucking point. I'm not a huge gangster movie cat, but I've always loved this one. I saw it again probably way age inappropriate, single digit age, and I've like just always adored the picture. I kind of have that gear sometimes. But yeah, so it's been a favorite of mine for a long time, and I remember there was a show we did that didn't last super long once upon a time where we had a movie club thing going, and I recommended it to Brian Michaels, who also not a huge gangster guy, so I wanted to see if he somehow saw what I saw in it. He did not, but I'm glad that you liked the movie, even if it ended up only at 4 stars. And also, fuck Jay and his bullshit.
Yeah, I wish I didn't see that because like that kind of ruined it a little bit, but. Yeah, maybe on the second.
It wasn't 10 minutes in real time. It was 10 minutes in movie time. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe on a rewatch I'll enjoy it even more now that I kind of know where it goes and what to expect. Maybe it won't like shock me.
I don't know. Not that I'm condoning it, but like I could buy into that. That a truly good guy, when he's forced to be with all his boys and they're all doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like I even have a weird like side bit about it in my act where it's like I'm not like an overly like, oh my god, I'm gonna hit that tonight kind of guy, but like when you're with all your friends and you want to get along, and like what I mean, like stuff like that. So like I think it kind of. Oh my god, and Brennan's canceled. You know what? I have one wish, and that is to watch a cartoon movie that was better than Wish because I didn't really like it that much. This is from just a couple years back here, one that I had kind of slept on, and I could see why. From the director of the other couple, I believe both Frozen movies here. I probably even like those ones better here. It's just about like not a weird, but an amalgamation of the other movies just done better here. A couple of the characters are fine, a couple of the songs are fine, but I just really wasn't that invested in this. I just kind of went and hummed my time along throughout it, so I didn't personally like it all that much. It's 2.5, but I guess I say I'm so down on it just because when you see like Disney and whatnot, you kind of want just something way bigger and better, and you want more. And I didn't quite get that here. And again, if this was Siskel and Ebert, it would probably be a thumbs down. I mean, even the cutesy animal we've done better. So, have you seen Wish, Brandon?
I have not. I've just heard things about. I've heard mixed things, but mostly negative things. We can tell that Brian and Chris aren't here because they're not going crazy in the chat right now. This is definitely Brian's Nuts Bomb Diaz bait right now. Right here, but maybe one day, maybe, I'm sure there'll be, a time to watch this. I'll have to go through it. So I should just because, I've seen everything else, or mostly. So I might as well watch it one day.
You're not wrong. Brian Nussbaum, 4 stars. Christy has 3.
I think that's with the mix. That's the mixed I've heard. It's negative,
Hold on.
and then the mix is that's
And I'm not to call out Brian. Oh, John Marr actually agrees. John Marr and my friend Joe are all 4 stars, but
well, it's so bad
there's
it's
20
scary.
other
So Brian-
less. 20 other people don't agree that it's 4 stars. Tate, ever seen Wish?
I have not. I will probably get to it at some point as I,
Get to
Disney
every
guy.
other Disney film first. Yeah, we'll get to all the other ones first.
Well,
what
I
else
don't want to
you seen,
leave the
Tato?
shittiest for last. I gotta mix it up, right?
I guess, but then second to last, because like I'm just saying, like we always say we're gonna watch these things, then we never get time. So I wouldn't bump it too far up the list. And it's like, what, you saw Wish, but you didn't see fill in the blank? What the fuck? Like, I don't know.
That's an
It works that way.
excellent-
It's like you have
That's an
like
ender.
stuff you have to watch, and I always go for like the middle list. I was like, I have so much other shit I should be watching, but let's watch Wish.
That's my
middle
boy.
you are.
Hustle, murder mystery, uncut gems, kind of. That's
Yeah,
where I'm like. I kind of did that in reverse, but yeah, I've been going up and down. On
I haven't
that
seen
thing.
Billy Madison, but let's watch Pixels.
Yeah, and I would hate you. Last call, by the way, here. Once we're done with Tato, if no one else comes in, that'll be the show. So if you want to hit that link down below, it's also in the comments. Join us while you can. Tato, what else you got?
I will close off with a movie that was really good that I did not necessarily expect to be. Like, I expected to enjoy this movie, but I didn't expect it to be quite as good as it was. Filling in sports, which is a strength of mine, I got to Goon for the first time.
Which one?
Goon.
Goon.
Ooh, that.
A lot more heartfelt than I thought the Jay Baruchel, Evan Goldberg written comedy would be. And not that those guys can't write great comedies with heart. Obviously, Superbad sprinkles a ton of heart in there too and stuff like that. But I will say from the get-go, a much more woke movie, as it were, than anticipated. The inciting incident here is because this douchebag drops the F slur, and his brother, Sean William Scott's brother, is gay in the movie, so he beats the crap out of him, right? Justifiably so. And that's how he gets his position here. So I was like, oh, that was like a really neat way to get him into it, because I thought it was just going to be I kind of thought he was going to be on the hockey team from the get-go. So I didn't really have any knowledge of this part. And then, he's just like a good dude. Again, really heartfelt bits. And he's like, hey, he's just kind of a good dude who gets shit on and continues to be a good dude. It's not Ted Lasso, but it's got there are shades of Ted Lasso in the character, kind of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's just like a good guy who continues to be a good dude.
Or is there shades of Doug Glatt in Ted Lasso?
He was first.
That's a good point. But yeah, I will say 4 stars. You kind of expect this to be a 3.5 at best, but Liev Schreiber is really good here. And Baruchel, Sean William Scott, a little better than he picks it up a notch for this one, I think. Better than I expected.
No, I agree. Yeah, it's slightly above what I expected to. I dug it. I think I am at 3.5. Maybe just because I really hated some of the side characters here, but William Scott, I think, is kind of perfectly casted as, like you said, just a relatively good dude who, has a little shat on, but doesn't ever really break that spirit, continues to be that way. Stuff between him and Liev works. Just recommended, Tato. Tune in next week and get to Last of the Enforcers. Let's see what you think of the sequel. I think it's
I went to watch it, and then it was only by rent, and I was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah,
but I will. Yeah. I'll find I will buy or rent it when I get paid. Yeah.
Just got paid Friday night in sing song. Brandon, you ever seen Goon? And I'm not talking about.
You're gonna toss it over to the hockey guy.
Bill Irwin.
I fucking love this movie. I have it at 5 stars just because I'm a hockey guy, so I gotta have it at 5 stars. It's just, especially watching the trailer. If you didn't know, I love the trailer because I know the movie, But if you didn't know the trailer, you were like, what is this weird? Is this like a National Lampoon? Is this a straight to DVD mid 2000s comedy? You know, there's no Eugene Levy's in this. There's no way this is good. Then you hear the premise. You're like, okay, there's no way this is good. And it's just so good. The side characters you think are annoying. It's like, I just love those shitty hockey jokes that they have and those like shitty foreign dudes that are just annoying. But, you know, you got to have like everybody, all the teams have those, you know, annoying little henchmen. The goalie is so freaking funny in this movie. You know, 2 rules: don't touch my fucking Percocets, and do you have any fucking Percocets? I just, it's just so quotable to me. This is like one of my brothers and my favorite movie. I bought him a Doug Glatt jersey that he wears to Kings games. I love this movie a lot. I've only seen the second one once, so I need to go back and watch the second one again before Tato watches it, so I can talk about that. But I remember liking that one too. So yeah, I really like this movie. It just feels like Jared Batershaw wrote it. It's kind of like the Muppet movie for me, where it's like it feels like a guy who actually cares about this stuff wrote it. Like, you know, that's why I really like it. It's like somebody who truly loves hockey and truly loves the role of the enforcer wrote this movie. So that's why I like it. It's not just like some, you know, Hollywood dude writing something. It's somebody who actually loves what they're talking about. So that's why I really, really liked it. And I love Sean William Scott. I've always loved Sean William Scott. I've always thought he's hilarious in everything he does. And it's nice seeing him a little role reversal here. Instead of being really loud and obnoxious and being like a shithead, he's a really nice dude that's brutal, but he's a little bit quieter than normal. So it's really nice to see that. So yeah, love this movie.
Yeah, and Baruchel does return for the sequel as well, and he actually directs the sequel.
Yep.
He's pretty hands-on with the second one. So yeah, guys, it looks like that might be coming towards the end of the show here. Our boy Pez gave a pretty good review to Trespass, a fun 90s one-piece action thriller with both ices, T and the Cube. A slight recommendation to the vagrant and wacky Bill Paxton movie, again from the early 90s here. And nope, you're not reading that wrong. It's a 0.5, half a star, for American Werewolf in Paris. Not a recommendation from the Pezster. Brennan.
I watched Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and it was really, really awesome. 4.5 stars. I watched The Salvation, and it wasn't very awesome. Had a lot of good bones in it, but not a very good Western movie, in my opinion. And then I watched a good movie that I wish I liked more, but I think I'm going to give it another shot. I think I'll like it even more the next time. It's still really great, A Bronx Tale. And I'm wrong. Jordan proved me wrong. He talked me out of it.
I don't know. Debate. I wanted to point, Tato.
No, you
put
made
that in the battleground. For me this week, I saw a Richard Linklater film that I didn't quite love in Suburbia, but I did overly like Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a prequel that again just cast some really good side characters. Those are the main 2 characters. Shout out to Tom Blade. Look forward to whatever he does in the future. And then again, kind of right along the side of Suburbia, Wish, a Disney film that is very Disney-fied and will probably pass the time if you got kids, but if you're an adult, there's not a hell of a lot that's going to hold you, in my opinion, personally. Tato? No, I can't hear you.
Oh no! Yep, watched a bunch of good movies this week. Boys in the Hood, Do the Right Thing, and Goon. Boys in the Hood, fantastic, 4.5 stars. Do the Right Thing, fantastic, 4.5 stars. Both of those, I think, to be expected. Goon, less to be expected, I think, on the 4-star front. So, the movie outkicked its coverage, even though it has a lower score. It was definitely the more surprising film. So, 3 great movies that I happened to watch in the past 10 days or so.
Alright, so Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, Trespass, and if you got to choose just one, Tato, what's your movie of the week?
Ooh, I like this.
Ooh,
So basically, Do the Right Thing or Boys in the Hood.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Goon, confuse us all.
I was
You got him higher than Goon, so Goon's kind of already gonna lose, in what I figured.
Yeah, okay, but like movie of the week can be a movie that outperforms its coverage, I think. Anyway, I'll say Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, MVP.
Oh,
Most,
complicated.
MVP.
I hate sports and I hate all of you. I'll be burning hell too, but I don't because I love you all.
Yes,
with all my heart.
I hope they burn it
hell. I should watch that movie next week. Never seen it. From Brandon, for Tato, for Pez, for everyone watching, not for John Marr.
Watch White House Trivia.
John Marr. Watch like, oh yeah, I guess, yeah, plug the party words. Tato, we're not done. Tato, plug the party words.
Lights out trivia. We got a semifinal match on our hands in the near future, probably in 15-ish minutes.
Brandon, any plugs or parting words from you?
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Time for Dad to go back to work. So yeah, tune into that in just a few minutes here as I continue my run to glory.
Hell yeah!
And then I have a couple other stuff coming out. Watch those.
Lights out trivia. As Pet said before, Lonely Marks tonight. It's Royal Rumble weekend, people. What a time to be a wrestling fan. And yeah, this channel, lots more stuff coming soon.
Can't you just feel it?